Hey folks, Jessica here. We're in Granblue Fantasy. It's been a hot minute since I've done a character spotlight, so today we're going to talk about Gold Knight. I promised this a while ago. I said I would do a Gold Knight spotlight once I got Zeta and Zetaraga, and I got them. So, yeah, we're just going to talk about Golden Knight today. It's kind of a spotlight for Zeta and Zetaraga also, but there's not as much to talk about there. So let's just jump right into it. Golden Knight is one of the 7 Luminary Knights. They're all big movers and shakers in the story. Her real name is Aliyah Ishtavian, I believe, and I really like her design. Her and Apollonia, they have big knight energy. Also, they're kind of rivals, so I'm into it. Her element is Earth, her race is Irun, her style is attack, she is Saber's specialty, and she's a grand character. She came out a couple months ago, I think, fairly recently. The part you care about, though, her skills. Starless Twilight Slash is her charge attack. It is damage, of course, but it's a 1-turn cut to all her skill cooldowns. That can be very significant combined with the rest of her kit. Her first skill is Great Horizon. It is a 7-turn cooldown nuke, but it's also Dispel. Removes 1 buff. That's very nice. And this is the important part. It extends caster's buff durations by 1 turn, excluding 1-turn buffs. So if she has a 1-turn buff on her, you can't extend it. But anything longer, you can't extend, and that is important. Her second skill is Helio Drain. It is a 6-turn cooldown delay special. All you need to know there is it's more likely to land. Simple explanation. If successful, it will give you 25% charge bar. Super basic bread and butter skill. Tons of characters have similar versions of this. Her big skill, though, the one that you really care about, Sword and Flux. This is This is the reason you run her. So Sword and Flux is a 6-turn cooldown. Copy skill, basically. It replicates casters or allies' skill. So this lets you copy other skills. Now, what skills you can copy is very specific. You're gonna have to experiment, but I will show you some skills that are very useful to copy. Also note the interesting point, replicate casters or allied skills. So she can copy other character skills, but she can also copy her own skills. This matters because that means she can copy Great Horizon in order to further extend buff durations, or she can double delay using Helio Drain and then copying it. So you've got a lot of options here. Now, you might be noticing 2-turn duration. What's that? Well, she also gains a buff based on the type of skill copied. So I believe there is a chart. Yeah, so if she copies a damaging skill, she gains 20% Earth Echo, nice. She copies a yellow skill, a buffing skill. She gains some amount of double attack and triple attack up. It does not say how much. And if she copies a blue skill, a debuff, she gains 30% debuff resistance up. She copies a healing skill. She restores 10% of her HP, healing cap 1k. None of these are particularly earth-shattering. The one that's nice is this one, the Echo, obviously, but none of these are a super big deal. They're nice to have, is how I would word it. Her passives, and they are very strong passives. Sword of Twilight boosts to charge attack damage and charge attack damage cap based on the number of buffs. Do you have a chart? You sure do. So if she's got 1 buff, it's 9% charge attack damage up, 3% cap up. If it's 10 plus buffs, it's 90% charge attack damage up, 30% cap up. Very nice. And the max for that is 10. However, there's more. When Gold Knight has 15 or more buffs, quite a lot of buffs, before attacking, charge attack activates twice. This is really cool if you can get it to happen. It takes some setup to make happen. There are certain characters that will be very helpful in order to get you to 15 buffs. Because 15 buffs, while we do have a shit ton of buffs these days, 15 is still a lot. Characters like Mahira, I think, dropped like 7 buffs on her in just 1 button. So, like, you want to run characters that enable this if possible. Because, remember, if she's got 15 or more buffs, she's going to charge attack really freaking hard because of this part of Sword of Twilight. And she's going to double charge attack. And, big and here, she cuts her skill cooldowns by 1 turn every time she charge attacks. So if she's double charge attacking, she is cutting her skill cooldowns by 2 turns. And this lets you do some really nasty loops. We'll get to that part in a second. Golden Armor is the other passive. This is also pretty good. She recovers 5% of max HP every turn, healing cap 500. Okay, whatever, sure, nice. She gains 10% charge boost if HP is full, so it's like a revitalize basically. It's a nice to have, but this one is particularly synergistic with the rest of her kit. Buffs cannot be removed. Her buffs cannot be stripped. Someone like Kaung can't do shit to her because her buffs can't be removed. So you see the synergy here. You put a whole ton of buffs on her. They're going to stay on her because she's extending the duration of them, and they can't be removed. So all her kit works very well together. We are being joined by a little purry baby, a little Stiggy-Doo. Hello, Stiggy. Hello. So the thing with Golden Knight is how good she is entirely dependent on the characters you bring with her. Specifically, you want to bring characters that have really powerful skills that can be copied. So the thing is, without her copy ability, she's an average character at best. Let's look at the rest of her kit. So she can dispel, okay, nice, and she can extend buff durations, that's pretty cool. And she can delay, alright, and she can cut the skill cooldowns on her skills, so she can do that faster. She can double a charge attack if you get enough buffs on her, and her buffs can't be removed. All that stuff's nice, but none of that makes a broken character. Like, without the ability to copy skills, she's more of a utility character than anything. But when you combine her kit with the ability to copy another character's skill, that's when she goes from like an okay utility character to a semi-broken character. So let's look at some skills she can copy. So the ideal copy target for Golden Knight is Zeta and Zetaraga. If you're not familiar, we'll talk through this briefly. It's not really a spotlight on them, but we can talk through their kit. They are a limited Halloween unit. It is your friends Zeta and Zetaraga, both of them. That's why they are human and draft, spear and axe. And their charge attack is Abyssal Wall. Gives them counter on dodge or damage. Great. They've got linked skills here, Magic Horizons and Black Chamber, and Magic Horizons is the one we care about. This is, like, they've got other stuff we'll talk about, but Magic Horizons is their signature skill, is the one you want to copy a Golden Knight because it is extremely powerful. So it is 9-turn cooldown, 9-turn duration, so 100% uptime. Let's see what it does. It gives them a buff that does so many things that it's rolled off my screen. Okay, it boosts their attack, boosts their triple attack rate up, gives them an echo, and lowers their defense. How much? Well, it is a 50% attack up, okay. It's an 80% echo, huge echo, guaranteed triple attack. We've talked about this a million times at this point, but guaranteed triple is super important. And then 70% def down, which is a lot of def down, by the way. That is a significant amount of def down. However, you know how 2020 Granblue Fantasy is. You don't care about def down for the most part because you're just going to kill the thing before it matters, or you're going to use an immunity or whatever. So like defense isn't really that important these days. And again, let's talk about those buffs one more time. 50% attack up, great. 80% echo, huge echo, guaranteed triple, and 100% uptime. You can see why this is a crazy skill to copy, because with just Zeta and Zetaraga on their own, they're a crazy unit. They're just constantly triple attacking 100% of the time with an 80% echo and an attack boost. Completely bonkers. But with Golden Knight, you have 2 of them. You copy it, so you have 2 of them. And then the third character you run is probably Holly and Armaya. So you have 2, like, you have extremely broken attacker with these 2. You copy them for 2 of extremely broken attacker, and then use Holly and Armaya, which is another extremely broken attacker. And your whole front line is extremely broken attackers. That's basically the ideal setup. So what else do they do? Well, Black Chamber is their other link skill. Remember, link skills, you only use one or the other. So you're probably never going to use Black Chamber because you're using Magic Horizons. In fact, I don't even remember what Black Chamber does. Yeah, this is just the defensive inverse. It boosts defense, makes them more likely to be attacked, and they counter skill when targeted. Their triple attack is lowered. You don't use this one. We don't talk about Black Chamber, but we'll talk about Black Chamber. So it's 150% defense up, 30% triple attack down, and they'll counter. You use Magic Horizons. The Witch and the Reaper is their third skill. It's a nuke, and it extends buff durations, just like Golden Knight. Also, just like Golden Knight, excludes one-turn buffs. So you can see the similarities here, because this is basically Golden Knight's 1 minus the Dispel. So, yeah. The rest of their passives we'll talk to real fast. They are Festive Contractors, guaranteed double attack. I mean, okay, but Magic Horizons is guaranteed triple, so why do you even care about guaranteed double? But that is the thing. And Zeta and Zetaraga's buffs cannot be removed. You're seeing the theme here, right? You're seeing how they're very similar in their kit to Golden Knight. Like, I didn't actually realize that Golden Knight's kit was so similar to theirs in a lot of ways, but yeah, especially if you copy their skills, then yeah, they're very similar characters. Gruesome Twosome is their other passive. At the end of turn, in which Zeta and Zetaraga's HP hits 50% or lower, restores 50% HP, healing cap 5k. Nice to have, especially considering the fact that they are at negative 70% defense most time. And when that happens, it will end the cooldown for all of their skills. These are nice to haves. The buff can't be removed thing is nice because you don't want Magic Horizons getting knocked off, since you want it to be up all the time. But these are all nice things. The main thing, though, is Magic Horizons. And another character people like to copy of Golden Knight is Grand Leona. I don't actually have a Grand Leona, so we won't talk about her whole kit, but the thing that matters for the copy is people like to copy Moonlight Crescent Blade. It is an 8-turn cooldown, 5-turn duration buff that gives you the Crescent buff. So it's not actually that high uptime. Do note that. Magic Horizons is 100% uptime, this is not 100% uptime. Crescent gives you a 50-50 crit up, 100% 30% armor effect, 100% double attack up, 30% critical attack up, 10% damage cap up, and debuff immunity. So it's a nice buff to be able to copy on another character. However, I would say pound for pound, it's not as strong as Magic Horizons. 1, it's got lower uptime. 2, it doesn't have an echo. 3, it's not guaranteed triple. You do get other stuff, like it doesn't hit you with a huge defense penalty and does give you armored, so you could consider this a more defensive buff, I guess. And does give you crit and damage cap up. These things are all nice, but I don't actually think this is as good as Magical Horizons. You might be able to actually get its uptime pretty high with all of Golden Knight's buff extensions and whatnot, but I would say she's... if you have the choice between Zeta and Zetaraga and Leona, I would say use Zeta and Zetaraga. The third popular character to copy of Golden Knight is Eugen, codename Big Boss, or Solid Snake. This one I will show you in action because I think it will make more sense than just talking it through. But the high level look at it is you want to copy Auto Ignition, because remember, she can extend the duration buffs that are 2 turns or longer, and this is exactly 2 turns, and this gives you basically full charge bar every turn. And then remember, she is cutting her skill cooldowns whenever she charge attacks, and she double charge attacks. So you see how this works. Basically, if done correctly, she can extend the duration on this thing long enough that her skill cooldown cuts, because she's charge attacking every turn, double charge attacking every turn, let her loop this perpetually, and she can charge attack forever. It's not going to seem like she can do that given the timing of everything initially, but it does work, I promise you, and I'll show you. It'll make more sense when you see it in action. Okay, I've shown this setup before, so if you've already seen this and don't want to see it again, timestamps will be in the description. I'm letting you skip ahead to the next demo, but this is the Eugen Mahira Golden Knight team that lets you basically infinitely charge attack Golden Knight, double charge attack Golden Knight every single turn. So remember how copy skills work. Let me just get everything up real fast. Remember how copy skills work. You use the skill you want to copy and then use the skill that copies. So we'll just get everything up real fast. The reason why you want to use Mahira Golden Knight is that thing she just did, her Zeal of the Feather. That might look like 1 buff in this UI, but it is actually like, it's like 7 buffs. It's an absolute crap ton of buffs that she can put up. It's 5 buffs here, and then she puts up more buffs, and she can put like 7 buffs on Golden Knight. So that's pretty significant. And then let's just go ahead and I've got this is extremely sensitive to the order in which you use skills, because you want to be careful about how you set up this copy. So here, let's just use this. So we're gonna use Eugen's auto ignition, right? So that's gonna make it a full charge bar like that, and then we're going to copy it with golden. This is important. So now, like, the skill that's prime right now is Eugen's auto ignition. So if we were to use this again, it would copy auto ignition again. So it remembers until the next, like, it remembers the last skill used. So what we're actually gonna do is her 1 to extend the duration of that auto ignition. Let's look at the duration. So where's the auto ignition? So yeah, here it is. 1% charge bar. It's normally 2-turn duration, it's not 3-turn duration. But note a thing. The last skill at this point is the buff extension. So right now, that if we were to use copy again, it would copy the buff extension. That is important. So let's go ahead and attack. And this sequencing is extremely sensitive, and you do need to remember all this. You know, charge attack for an absolute crap ton. Actually, charge attack again for an absolute crap ton again. And she just cut the cooldown on her skills by 2 turns because she charged attacked twice. Now, Eugen and Gold Knight, because they have the auto ignite, are going to be 100% charge bar. Here, I'll turn on attack animation so you can see everything. And remember, her buffs don't fall off, can't be dispelled, and she's got well more than 15, so we're good to go. But remember, the last skill used was her buff extension. You don't want to use another skill right now, because that will be the last skill used instead, and that will mess up your combo. And that matters. It might not seem like it'll matter, but it matters, because we can loop just barely. So here she comes again. And she will charge attack for an absolute shit ton. Because remember, her charge attack is buffed based on how many buffs she has, which is an absolute shit ton. And she'll charge attack twice. And we're overbursting, because those 5 charge attacks, so is the back row to shoot him. And then they're going to auto-ignite again, because remember, they still got the auto-ignite buff. So here's why it matters. So right now, there's one more turn left. Where is it? There's one more turn left on the auto-ignite, and my buff extension hasn't cooled down yet, but my copy has. So if I use this again, it's going to copy Great Horizon, because it's been like three turns, but that was still the last skill used. So now I extended the buff duration again on the auto ignite. So you see how this works together. And now at this point I can delay, because the cooldowns work out that I don't need to use the extension will come off cooldown naturally after this turn, so I don't need to have that primed anymore. So I can use wherever I want. I can use this too if I want it. So you gotta be a little bit cognizant of what was the last skill used. But yes, we will go ahead and just go and do this again. I'll show you the full loop and show you that it is indeed full. And yes, she will literally just charge attack over and over and over and over again forever. Like, this isn't like Smoke and Mirrors. This literally loops forever. Just barely. Just barely. So at this point, we can extend it again. So I'll do that. Now that's primed, right? So now I've got this turn of a full charge bar, and then next turn of full charge bar. And note that the copy skill has 3 turns cooldown left, but I'll cut the skill cooldown. I'll show you. Let me just do this. You'll see. basically, we after this turn, we will have fully reached. We have done everything we need to fully move. Remember, there's 3 turns cooldown left on her copy, but we just cut it by 2 turns, and then a turn will pass, so it'll be off. It should be off cooldown when we get through this turn. Yeah, whatever. And there you go. So now we can freaking copy it again if we wanted. And now, yep, 2 more turns. And then we're gonna cut it by 2 turns, and then take a turn, and then cut it by 2 turns and take a turn. So like this thing's gonna cool down. You see how the loop works. I'm not gonna do this all the way to 0% because it's gonna take a bit. But yeah, that's the thing you can do with Voikin and Golden Knight. So moving on. So while I do think the Voikin Mahira Golden Knight team is really cool mechanically and legitimately really powerful, I actually prefer this setup, which is Holly Narmaya, Zetaraga, and Golden Knight. This is probably the better setup if you want to race. So you might wonder, by the way, why wouldn't you just copy a character like Holly Narmaya? She's the best Earth character, right? It's like obvious pick to copy. Now, the thing with her is her whole kit plus her passives are good. Like, she's getting her guaranteed triple essentially from her passives, and like different parts of her kit give different things. Like her 80% echo is from her 1, but her assassins from her 3, and her general stat boosts are from her 2. So there's not one skill you can copy from her that's particularly nuts. And that's the thing with Golden Knight. She can only copy 1 skill. So the character requires multiple skills and their passives. They're not really a great target for her because she can't copy everything. She can only copy 1 thing. Zeta and Zetaraga, on the other hand, their main thing is their 1, Magic Horizons, especially since it's a link skill anyway. So that's why they're such an ideal partner for Golden Knight. So let's just get everything up, and we'll go beat the crap out of Granny again. And like I said, you might think that the previous setup was nuts, and it was not bad, don't get me wrong. This one, I think, is the one you want to use for like racing and whatnot. So remember, you want to use the skill you want to copy, so Magic Horizons, and then you want to copy it. So now it's copied. Now, see, Golden Knight has it 9 turns, so basically 100% uptime. And now we can use whatever. Just all this stuff. Yeah, we'll use all the things. So now, at this point, we can tag team. Remember, Luchador, best class. And look at all that damage. Like, Golden Knight's hitting for about, like, 1.1 million. Because she's copied Zeta and Zetaraga, who are 80% echo, 50% attack up, guaranteed triple. Then we'll do it again. So you see where this is going. Like, they become this auto-attacking monster, these two. And Narmaya, obviously, is using Assassin and Guaranteed Triple as well. So, like, you see all these things tied together. It's just insano damage. Might actually be better to not charge attack here, but we'll charge attack here. Why not? You can see Zeta Raceraga's charge attack. I didn't have charge attack animations on. Oh well. You'll see this wall at least. And Golden Knight will come flying in for her charge attack. She doesn't have enough buffs right now to double charge attack, but who cares? She's doing good work. Here, I'll actually turn charge attacks on properly, and then we'll just we'll keep on beating face. Here, I'll not do anything this turn. And yeah, she's gonna attack for. Actually, that's like 1.3, 1.4 million, it looks like almost. It's so Freyr up in my summons, but that's not actually ideal here. But whatever, we'll just keep on beating a face. And yes, this is going to be definitely the better setup for like racing or killing anything in a reasonably fast amount of time, because obviously charge attacking all the time is slow. I'm not going to beat up the whole boss, but you get the idea. You see like why Golden Knight is so strong with Zeta and Zetaraga, because she can copy one skill, and that's like 90% of their kit. So she's just nuts. Like she's even better than they are, because she's got the rest of her kit combined with that one extremely powerful skill. So conclusions on Golden Knight. She's a really good character. Like really, really good character if you have one of her ideal copy targets. So Zetaraga, Grand Leona, Grand Doigan. If you don't have any ideal copy targets for her, she falls off considerably. That said, this will change over time. They'll add more characters. In all likelihood, they'll be good characters for her to copy down the road. And to be perfectly fair, there is a decent chance I have overlooked a character that she can copy that's potentially pretty good. In fact, let me know down below in the comments if you can think of a character that has a skill that she can copy that's very strong that I haven't mentioned here. Let me know. I'm curious. I've heard people talk about using her to copy Sarasa's Ground Zero. If you know, Ground Zero is a huge plane damage nuke, so having double huge plane damage nukes, pretty good. That said, that's more of just speeding up farming than anything else. It's not like a super, super powerful combo. Overall, I really like the design of Golden Knight. I really like copy characters. I think they're a fun space that Granblue could explore a little bit more. The only other copy character I can think of off the top of my head is Lunalu in Dark. And Lunalu is interesting because people do actually use her sometimes. They use her to copy 6 as 1, so you have 6 and then a mini 6. And that's pretty strong, but it does go to show you that copying on its own is not necessarily powerful. It's if you have a character that has a ton of power focused in one skill and copying that skill ends up basically being broken, that's when a copy character is really good. So yeah, overall I like Golden Knight, but she does require you to have other characters in order for her to really excel. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!